According to WebMD.com, caffeine works by stimulating the central nervous system, heart, muscles, and centers that control blood pressure. Caffeine can raise blood pressure but might not have the effects in people who use it all the time. Caffeine can also act like a water pill that increases urine flow, but again, it might not have an effect to people who drink caffeine regularly. Also, drinking caffeine during moderate exercises is not likely to cause dehydration. I'm a sophomore going into my junior year in college, and I can say that I am an everyday coffee consumer. By being a heavy coffee consumer, I have felt the effects of caffeine and how it can be labeled as a drug or as an addiction. By attending Jackson State University with my major, with biology as my major, I have gained the knowledge of researching, experimenting with cause and effect of different types of drugs. Moving forward, I can say that caffeine is possibly unsafe when taken for a long period of time or in high dosages. I will discuss the different types of effect of caffeine when mixed with other substances, and how to withdraw from caffeine. I will first inform you on the different types of caffeine, the effects of caffeine. According to WebMD.com, the most common effects of caffeine are high blood pressure, weak bones, and diabetes. High blood pressure refers to pressure of blood against your artery walls. Over time, blood pressure can cause blood vessel damage that leads to high blood pressure, kidney disease, stroke, and other problems. People with high blood pressure can cause their blood pressure to rise by consuming coffee. However, it may not affect anybody who drinks coffee every day. Weak bones it's a condition in which weak bones become weak and brittle. According to WebMD.com, caffeine can increase the amount of calcium that is flushed out of your urine. Having weak bones or low bone density, caffeine should be limited to 300 milligrams per day, 2 or 3 cups accurately. People who suffer from weak bones can be treated, but the condition has no cure at this time. This is due to the new bone creation not being able to keep up with the old bone removal. Diabetes is a group of diseases that result in too much sugar in blood, also known as high blood glucose. With research, caffeine may not affect the blood, but it can affect people. It can affect people with high blood pressure due to the sugar. It could worsen their diabetes. However, the effect of caffeinated drinks and supplements have not been studied at this time. People with diabetes should use caffeine with caution due to the high percentage of sugar within the coffee. While there are so many different effects of caffeine, a common denominator among all caffeine effects are the way people tend to use them. The Mayo Clinic organization said that caffeine use may be safe for adults, but is not recommended for children. Adolescents and young adults need to be cautious about the excessive caffeine intake and mixing caffeine with alcohol and drugs such as ephedrine, theophylline, and echinacea. Ephedrine is a prescription medicine used to treat symptoms of low blood pressure during amnesia. According to the Mayo Clinic organization, mixing caffeine with ephedrine might increase high blood pressure, heart attack, stroke, and seizures. Ephedrine customers can take caution to caffeine due to life-threatening effects. However, there's no research found on this topic just yet. Theophylline is a medication used to open up bronchial airways. The medication seems to have more caffeine-like effects. As stated by the Mayo Clinic, taking it with caffeine may increase the adverse effects of caffeine, such as nausea and heart palpitations. Many people that have bronchial airways or take theophylline may potentially faint or stop their heartbeat. Researchers do not recommend it. Echinacea is used to shorten duration of the common cold or flu and reduce symptoms such as throat problems, cough, or fever. Many herbalists also recommend that echinacea is needed to help boost immune system and help the body fight infections. In a Mayo Clinic organization, the Mayo Clinic organization says that echinacea may increase the concentration of caffeine in your blood and may increase caffeine's unpleasant effect. People that choose to take echinacea should ask their doctors to avoid negative reactions from mixing the herb with other substances. It is important to know what is you put inside of your body and how your body take certain substances. It's also important to know how to withdraw from things that is an addiction or life-threatening. As stated by the Medicine Net, there is so many healthy reasons for consuming caffeine. It does not sound wise to stop coffee completely. It is an addition to that cup of joe that is the troublemaker. Addiction means someone that stops themselves from consuming more than 4 cups a day, and when it happens, it's time to take a break from the addiction. The steps to take this break is to go slow, choose water as your substitute, and switch to decaf. First step is to go slow. Reduce the amount of coffee you consume slowly. Reduce the amount of coffee you consume. Medicine also explains that instead of 8 cups, take 6 cups for the first few days, and then gradually 4 cups, and you'll gradually stop drinking coffee, but do not stop drinking it all at once. People who stop consuming caffeine all at once tend to have withdrawal effects such as severe headaches and restlessness. That explains why taking things slow can be a great improvement for your near future. The second step is to substitute caffeine for a better beverage such as water. If the urge for caffeine begins to sneak up on you and that 5th cup of joe is in the need, drink water instead. It is refreshing. It's a refreshing little beverage that can be drunken hot or cold or mixed with different flavors. The third step is to just simply switch to decaf. Decaffeinated coffee is a coffee that is free from coffee, if that makes sense. People who is trying to cut down caffeine should rotate between caffeinated coffee and decaffeinated coffee throughout the day for over 2 to 3 weeks or more, depending on how long it takes. Research proven by the Medicine Net indicates that switching to decaf completely is gradually cutting caffeinated coffee, the use of caffeinated coffee, stepwise production. That will help you successfully change bad habits with or without coffee to stop withdrawal symptoms. In conclusion, the effects of caffeine can cause serious problems and life-threatening damages. Having poor health and different types of supplements, caffeine can cause bittersweet things for most. The different types of effects of caffeine when mixed with other substances, and how to withdraw from caffeine work hand in hand to inform people of how something so good can kill you. If someone someone you know who possibly have an addiction and possibly needs help, show them the 3 steps on how to slow down from caffeine, and that is to slow down, substitute water, and switch to decaf.